Good afternoon, everybody. This is Elizabeth Viola, the Chief Program Officer at the Early Learning Coalition. If I can get everybody to let me know, or somebody to let me know if they can hear me. And then can somebody let me know if they see the agenda on the screen? You do. Okay, awesome. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And we are looking forward to talking with you in this June provider meeting. I introduced myself, and I'm going to let my colleagues introduce themselves as well as who's in the room today.
Hello, everyone. This is Janet Honor, Quality One Coordinator.
This is Latricia Simmons, Chief Operations Officer.
Now, can I just verify you guys could hear Janet and Latricia? We're in a little bit of a different setup today, so I want to make sure you can hear all of our speakers. Yes, awesome.
Okay, good.
Wonderful. Let me look down the list and see if we have any partners that would like to share anything today, or if any of you would like to share anything out today, just let me know or raise your hand. Okay, it looks like we do not have any partners on today. Let me just make sure one more time. All right, well, I'm just going to keep carrying us through our agenda today, and it starts with me. So first of all, we want to thank and congratulate our teachers who participated in our STEM GEMS training. Kid City USA, 2nd Street, Ocala First Preschool, RCMA, and First Assembly Christian School. Congrats to all of you who participated. Those of you who aren't familiar with the STEM GEMS training, we actually had another coalition come up and visit us from St. Lucie County, and we offered a 6-hour STEM training, and the trainers group is called the STEM GEMS, and they are absolutely amazing. And the training focuses 100% on STEM and STEAM, and had a component where the teachers who participated got to go back into their classrooms and actually do these challenges. And so we want to thank those teachers who were able to fulfill those challenges, and you have a special package of materials coming your way for those that completed those challenges. So again, to Kid City USA, 2nd Street, Ocala First Preschool, RCMA, and First Assembly Christian School, thank you so much for participating, and hopefully I would love to hear more as you get into using your new STEM lessons that you have participated in to see how is that working out in your classroom. So we look forward to hearing more about that. So moving into, we didn't have any partner updates. Moving into, I'm going to ask everybody for patience today because for the first time in a long time, I'm driving a computer. So I may drive you crazy because I'm driving a computer. Let's see. So we have, as you all know, I'm going to talk about some funding updates. Marcy is joining us too, so she may chime in at any time. Let me see if she got logged in. There's quite a few of you on here today. Mercy's here, so I'm going to unmute her in case she wants to jump in. So talking about the ARPA grants, as you all know, we have been full-fledged doing in these ARPA grants and receiving your applications. So first I want to cover the workforce initiative piece. That was the application that had 2 components to it. It had application 1 and application 2. Application 2 was the application that covered training for all of your teachers that have been with you. It really recognized those teachers that have been with you for a long time. And the payout was based on the longevity of them being employed with you, as well as the trainings that they had under their belts. And then there was different payouts for that. The due date for that was May 31st. So that one, we are getting a lot of questions about when can our teachers start to see their their payment in their accounts. And so our finance department is working really hard to process all of that. When I say all of that, we have more than 150 plus teachers that we are entering into our system to get them paid out.
Elizabeth, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead, Marcy.
We are actually over 700 teachers at this moment, which means we have to create vendor accounts for every single teacher.
I told you I was more than 150. That plus means the other 600 that I didn't count. So the finance department is really working really hard on that. Teachers can expect to see those that were submitted by May 31st can expect to see deposits around June 30th. And you also, we have to account for different banks. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer for it to show up in different types of banks, depending on the institute that's used. And then we do have some teachers that did not provide direct deposits. And if the direct deposit wasn't provided, then it may take longer for those teachers to receive a hard check. So let me pause and look and see. So we had one question that says, if we have not heard back, can we assume everything was approved? At this point, I'd say yes. We've had 2 temporary staff working along with me on this grant. And while the staff are doing an amazing job getting back to everybody, 750 plus teachers and those applications, you might not have heard anything back. But I do know that the staff, Drea, she and Elizabeth, Lizzie, they are both very responsive. So if you want to write into arpa@elc-marion.org and just double check on it, you can. Just remember, if you're writing in, there's probably 50 other providers writing in. So we just ask for patience in responding to you. So to answer the question about when payment can be received, if everything was submitted by May 31st and there wasn't any follow-up. So that's the thing. If we had to ask you for additional documents, that is going to delay the payment to your teachers. So then talking about application number 1, which was the application where if you paid for background screening for your staff and or drug screening, we would reimburse you based on your capacity. Sorry, that word was escaping me for a second. There is a deadline set of June 15th. However, we set that deadline way back before we had, of course, all of the details that we needed. And so if you submitted everything for that application and there was nothing outstanding that we needed to ask you for by last Friday, June 9th, your teachers, or you, not you, this one gets paid out directly to you, can expect payment around June 30th. Now, anything that is still outstanding, or if we had to ask for follow-up documents after last Friday, that payment is most likely not going to come until mid to late July, even early August, especially for those that don't have direct deposit.
At this moment for Workforce Initiative 1, we have 9 providers that have submitted for that.
Yeah. So if you still want to get that in, if you are paying, and actually, let me pause for a second. I see somebody saying that they're having a hard time hearing me, that you're only hearing every other word. Is that true for anybody else? Or are you hearing us pretty clearly? Okay, so I'm gonna say for you that is having a hard time hearing, go ahead and log out and come back in. I'll talk really slow so that you don't miss anything. Okay, so then I have a question about due dates, June 30 and what were the other 2 dates? So if your applications were submitted after the deadline for the Workforce Initiative Application 2, you will not see any type of deposit or payment until mid to late July, even early August. June 30th will be for anybody that got their applications in prior, either by the due date of May 31st for application number 2, or by for application number 1, if you got everything submitted by last Friday, then you're good to go for payout around June 30th. I'm just pausing in case anybody has any questions, or Marcy, if you want to add anything else.
We are working we're working very hard to get these out as quickly as possible. But we do have additional payments that are going out to the providers as well. And I want you to remember when we sent out ARPA payment 2 or round 2, payment 1, what I told everybody, we have limited capacity at our bank to send out so much money. So in the next 2 weeks, you're going to see money hitting your account more than SR and VPK, trying to get these payments out, as well as ARPA round 2 payment to whoever qualified for that.
Thank you. Yeah, our bank is the same as the banks that you use. We don't have a special bank that gives us any kind of additional power to pay out quicker. If we could, we would use them. And I just want to acknowledge the ARPA team has done a phenomenal job. Thank you for that comment. We will make sure that those ladies know that. The next question is, how do we know if we did it correctly? How you know if you did it correctly is nobody came back and asked you for more information. So while we have tried to send out thank yous, we received your application or other things, it's really difficult to follow up with every single application. But if you haven't heard anything, that's a good sign. Thank you for all your hard work on us. You're very welcome. It's very deserved. And we appreciate you recognizing and being so patient with us. What is the email to ask questions about ARPA? It's ARPA, A-R-P-A, at elc-marion.org. And when will we know the award amount for ARPA round 2, part 2, which is the final payment? Marcy, do you want to jump in on that?
Do have those amounts, but at this time, I honestly don't have the ability to email out everybody their individual award amounts. Those payments will start going out next Monday, and by June 30th, everyone will have their payment amounts.
Will the deposit be labeled so that they know which one it is?
Yes, the deposits, when you look in your bank accounts, you won't know, but other than the last day of the month, the 30th, and the 21st is your SR and VPK payments. So any payment that comes out outside of those 2 dates are going to be the ARPA 2. I'm trying not to overlap deposits into your account so you can distinctly tell which ones are which. As soon as we do the deposits, we will be mailing out the remittance so you can have that in writing as well. I will tell you the amount, if you see an amount on your certification in MOD, it is not that amount. It's averaging about 80 to 85% of what your award was. That's not an exact, it's just an average.
Thank you. So I guess at this point, you just really want to pay attention to, so the 21st is your SR deposit for services for school readiness. The 30th will have your VPK deposit for those of you that offer VPK. Things that are deposited around that are most likely going to be your ARPA. And so you're going to really want to look at that. And so when you get those remittances, just pay attention to that. Okay, so I have a bunch of questions coming in. I realized today I didn't do a reimbursement for one of my staff. Can I still submit it? At this time, I'm going to say go ahead and submit it, and we'll review it. If we have the opportunity to process it timely, we will. There is a possibility we may have to deny it, but if you have it ready, go ahead and send it in. Just know that we may have to deny it based on payouts. Let me keep going. Let's see. I opted in for the $15 per hour. Where does that money come from? For VPK is what I'm guessing that you're saying. So that is not a question that I can answer. So while Marcy's on the line, let me see if she has an answer. That may be something we need to research.
Is in your BPK payment automatically. You won't see a difference unless you calculate it out or
There
you
you
look
go.
at your reimbursement reports.
Thank you, Marcy. Let's see. Okay, another question that we have on the last provider call, Elizabeth mentioned another ARPA after this one coming this month. Is that still a thing? The other ARPA, that would have been the ARPA round 2 payment, final payment, but there is going to be additional ARPA money coming, but it is not right now. And we don't have details on that. So it'll, as it comes out, we will definitely let you know. And it is still a thing. So nothing more on that right now than what we already have going on. Are you guys gonna send some next week and the week after so loads won't be so big and stressful? I think I need more information. Are we gonna send some what? If you can provide me with additional information on that question, I'll be happy to try to answer it. Funds more?
Elizabeth, I think what they're asking is, are the payments going to be broken out? Yes, there will be payments broken out. I am putting a payment schedule together, but we will, for the next 2 weeks, starting Monday, be sending out direct deposits every day until the end of the month, trying to get as much paid as we can, including the teachers, if we can get any of these vendor accounts. If the teachers are not in our accounting system, we're getting those set up as soon as possible, and we're going to try to get this money out as quickly as we can with all of our deadlines with the state.
Hopefully that answered your question. If it didn't answer your question, feel free to shoot an email over to ARPA@ELC-Marion with more detail to your question, and we'll try to respond directly to you. Okay. Another question about the CQI, continuous improvement, end of June as well. So those of you that are participating in the CQI through the workforce, world-class workforce portion of the grant, you should, well, I don't want to answer that. I don't know, Marcy, if you have an answer to that.
Repeat that question again.
For the CQI grants, are those payments also going to be the end of June as well?
Quickly as we can process them through. I apologize. I don't have any set deadlines. When we're getting them entered in as quickly as possible. If we thought the ARPA was a little insane in finance, trying to get all of that processed through, having over 1,000 entries going in and probably double that between all of these grants, it's been a bit challenging. So as soon as we can get some of the information in, payments will start going out. But as Elizabeth said, it could be July to August before all of them get out.
Yeah, so there's other, and she said thank you and laughed. It has been quite the balancing act. And as you know, I continuously ask you all for patience because I'm still processing your professional development reimbursements and accreditation things from last fall, because all of this is so huge. It's just such a huge undertaking. And even with us, with the ability to hire a couple of temp staff, just like you guys, it's been so difficult to find people that you can get trained. So yeah, one provider said they cannot imagine the details, and you're absolutely right. It is a huge undertaking, and we're doing everything we can, make sure not only that you get paid, but that it's accurate. So then we had a question, Ms. Marcy, can you explain again about the amount approved and the amount we will receive? And I'm assuming that you're talking about our round 2 final payments.
Round 2 final payments, I have received the detail. Those payments will actually I'll start the process of sending those payments out next Monday in small batches. You can estimate probably between 80 and 85% of what your round 2 was. Now, I know not everybody submitted for the certification. So if you did submit for the certification on time, those are the ones I received back from the state. And I do
Yes,
have
unfortunately,
methodology
we
of
did
how
not.
they divided it. Sorry.
Yes, and unfortunately, we did have some providers who did not submit on time and won't receive that funding. Just a few, a handful. Was the round 2 the one that was paid in a lump sum? Yes, it was. And then the last question I have here is the CQI, the 19,800 grant? Yes, it is. That is all the questions that I have right now. Just as a reminder, if you are participating in the CQI or any other portion of the World Class Workforce Grant, all of your training must be completed by June 30th at this time. And your certificates for all of your teachers in the CQI and any other teachers that are participating, if you're doing the Child Success Grant or the Upskill Directors Grant or the new teacher grant, that's the Introduction to the Class tool. All of those trainings must be completed by June 30th. And then you need to upload those to your web author account so that Drea can start reconciling those trainings that have been completed. Please remember, especially if you're participating in the CQI grant, if all of your staff do not complete, you will have to return some funding depending on how many don't complete. And we'll have to be looking at that. So I want you to be very cognizant on your staff, really get into your staff and remind them, get this done, so that we can start getting this, we can not collect any money back. Let me pause and see. Thank you so much. We would not be open if it wasn't for you. That is awesome. Thank you for that acknowledgement. And honestly, if you ever want to send a success story in about how these grant funds have assisted you, you can just send something over to arpa@elc-marion.org. If you want to send just a paragraph, maybe a picture of one of your teachers with their check or whoever, or maybe with something new that you bought for the site with these funds. That really goes a long way with the state to show that not only is the effort being put into this supporting your site and your business, but that it's appreciated and that it was necessary to go this route, because our leadership in Tallahassee could have really decided other things, but they found the value in early childhood education and they found the value in what you do every day. So if you find it in your heart to do a success story, please send those over to arpa@elc-marion.org. Those really go a long way to help show the impact of this funds. Just to share one more thing that provider put in the questions box is just a tip. We have implemented 2 Saturday work days for staff to come in and use our laptops to complete all trainings, and we furnish lunch. That's a great way to get your staff to finish their training obligations and to be there, because sometimes people are intimidated by taking online courses. So that's a really good way to help. And then, Anna's on. Hi, Anna. Anna said, Anna is from the Division of Early Learning. And let me unmute you if you want to say hi. She said, yes, we love hearing about success stories. I didn't realize you were here. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. And you are self-muted, but if you want to unmute, you can talk, say anything you like, or you can stay muted. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever your comfort level is.
Oh, okay.
There you are. Hi,
Yes,
Anna.
please.
We can
Hi,
hear you.
how you all doing? So excited to hear all the stuff that you guys are, all the support that you are giving the providers and that, there's so many people participating. And yes, please send us all your success stories and send us pictures. We love, love, love to hear and we love to see, how the support that's being presented to you all is really making a difference. And on behalf of DL, thank you so much for everything that you do. You guys are the troopers out there, and we are so grateful because the families are really being served, and that's what this is all about.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here with us today. Okay, that being said, let me see if we have one that's able to hire an office assistant, which is so much help. That is wonderful. And you know what, sometimes when especially if you can't find instructional staff, but you can find support staff that can relieve some things off of you and you can go into the classroom for a little bit or whatever, that, every little bit helps. And I'm glad to hear about that too. Okay, so you guys, we're going to go down to the next piece on the agenda, which is our professional development reimbursements. You all have heard me talk about how I've never been this behind in my life, and it's just because all the extra efforts that we're doing. So while I don't like being behind and I don't like asking for your patience every single day that I talk to one of you, I do appreciate your patience very much, and we are working through all professional development reimbursements that have been submitted this year. So on top of all of the ARPA and world-class workforce and your regular enrollment payments and things like that, you can still expect, your teachers can still expect to get their professional development reimbursements as long as they are submitted by June 15th. And we are still processing so many of them. So I have probably a stack about 3 inches high on my desk. Marcy doesn't want to hear that. She's not in this room, thank goodness. I don't have to see her shaking her head. But this will be the last year that we offer that. So what we are doing is we are going back to the drawing board. We know that you all love professional development reimbursement. We are one of the few coalitions that offer that. Currently. However, we are going to go back to the drawing board and revamp this program. So effective July 1st, we will not be offering professional development reimbursement for the time being. We are in the process of developing something new and better to support you even more, and to support our staff to get it processed timely. So we are looking at revamping the professional development reimbursement program that we have. Pausing to see if there's any questions. So just to reiterate that, effective July 1st, we will no longer be offering professional development reimbursement. Anything that your staff have done this year, we need those applications in by June 15th. Yes, June 15th.
Elizabeth just doesn't think I have enough to do between finance and admin over here. Get more payments out.
And June 15th is tomorrow. Yeah. Sorry, Marcy, we love you. We want you to stay, so it's job security. So yes, that deadline for this fiscal year for professional development reimbursement, that's outside of any of the ARPA grants. That is like your conferences that you've gone to. If anybody applied for the early childhood conference here that happens at CF every year, we often get a lot of those. And if you have outstanding ones, please know I have them. They are on my desk. I am working to process them. And we're working really hard to get those done. So I appreciate, again, your patience. And with that, I do not see any more questions. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Janet Honor to go to our next piece on the agenda.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to discuss the VBK updates with you and the school readiness updates with you. So first off, with the VBK, for our VBK only providers, we have hotspot devices available for you. I have a note from our IT department as a token of our appreciation for your dedication and hard work. We are delighted to inform you that you will be receiving a free hotspot device with coverage for a whole year. So this is really great, being that you have progress monitoring, which is online. The hotspot device comes pre-configured and ready to use, ensuring a hassle-free experience. So you just simply have to power the hotspot on to be able to connect your devices to the internet. And the coverage will provide you with the ability to browse different websites, access online learning platforms, communicate via email, and utilize various digital resources, which will enhance your teaching methods. Now, you may collect your hotspot device from the coalition at your earliest convenience. We ask that you give us a call to make arrangements if you need the hotspots to be brought out to you. Okay, are there any questions with that?
No, there's one question we have, but it has specifically to do with summer PM1, so I told her we'll get back to you.
Yeah. I'm about to go into that in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing on the list is the general progress monitoring discussion. We're going to discuss the STAR parent report. This is very important as it is a requirement for you to provide the STAR parent report to your families. So when are the STAR early literacy assessment scores to be shared with families? And the answer to that question is the VPK programs are required to provide a student's performance results from the assessments to the student's parents or guardians within 7 calendar days. So that means after you do the assessment on that one student, after 7 days or within 7 days, you need to provide that STAR parent report to that family. What we have done is provided a STAR help document so that you know how to pull the report for yourself. We also provided the link in my notes for you as well. So if you don't see it on your screen, you can easily.
Do you not see it?
No, I don't have it put it.
Oh, okay.
I have
You
something.
see it?
Yeah, I have something else pulled up. But we also provided the link for you too. It is a best practice to save a copy of the parent reports. That way you know that you have completed the progress monitoring on the student. This is really good help because it gives you the date that the test was taken. It gives you the teacher or director, the person who administered the test to the students, and then of course the students' scores. Okay, are there any questions there?
No question.
Okay, all right. So now we're going to move on to summer VPK. Summer VPK has kicked off the first week of June. Each summer VPK provider must conduct progress monitoring. The summer VPK progress monitoring schedule will go as follows. PM1 is the first 10 instructional days of the VPK class schedule, beginning with the first instructional day. PM2. Okay.
I went too far up on her.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. These are all also in the app. You can get them all out of the handout section. So I'm sorry I scrolled too far up. But I don't have
And then
it.
PM2 is the period of time in the VPK class schedule where at least 40% of the instructional hours have been completed and no more than 60 of the instructional hours have been completed. And then with your PM3, this is the last 10 instructional days of the VPK class schedule, ending on the last VPK instructional day. We do monitor to make sure that providers are completing the PM periods. When we monitor the reports do tell us how many students were in your classroom total, how many students were tested, how many students were not tested. We will be sending you reminders to make sure you complete your assessments or let you know that there are some students that have not been tested. Are there any questions there?
Just one. concerned for one of our summer BBK programs that her 10 days is up on Friday. So she's concerned because they assess their students for PM1, the scores are not showing at all.
So I've reached out to DEL regarding that. Another provider had that same issue. I'm waiting back for guidance. My suggestion would be do the best practice, pull the reports that show that you have completed the assessments on the children. The STAR Parent Report is a good report to pull for that. Can
The
you put
report doesn't show it. Okay, so we'll get you, that's the problem, the report isn't showing it.
the
So
report?
let us do some research after the meeting and,
I do have one quick question for that provider.
yeah, go ahead.
Is the report showing that it's for PM3 for the school term?
No, change to PM1.
I changed the
Or
PM1.
she said I changed PM1 and the summer class.
Okay,
Okay, so
Okay,
let
we'll
us
reach out to
look into it. I have your, I wrote you down so that we can follow up with you after the meeting and see if we can figure anything out.
okay.
It may be something we have to go into Renaissance and look at.
I'm gonna try to go really quickly with the rest because I have another speaker. So summer VPK class assessment. This is very important. Any provider offering summer VPK must have a class assessment completed for the summer. These scores are going to be different from the school term scores. The ELC will contact the providers to set up a window to complete these assessments. It's very important to note that there are no blackout days with VPK class assessment. So this is different from SR. Okay, so there are no blackout dates. Any questions there?
No.
All right, so moving on, continuing with VPK for the 23-24 VPK app. There's a new FAST training, well, updated FAST training. All directors, teachers, subs, and aides that will administer the progress monitoring must have the required credentials of a lead VPK teacher. This is very important. June 1st, 2023, participants will need to
Should be off there.
Participants will need to either log in or register in RenU, which is Renaissance U, using the RenU enrollment guidance and complete one of the courses.
You're good. No, you're good.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry. Me and Trish are in here conversing by hand gestures.
So you have to complete one of the courses, training requirements. And the courses are VPK test administration, getting started with FAST STAR early literacy. This is in English and Spanish. Can you pull up mine?
Her certificate? I
Yeah.
sure can.
Okay. So he's pulling up a certificate that I also took this course so that I can know how to do the assessments just as well as you guys. This is what your certificate is going to look like. This certificate either has to be uploaded to the VPK app for that director, teacher, aider, or sub, or it has to be on their DCF transcripts. And that DCF transcript must be updated and uploaded onto the VPK app. I do want to note that if a teacher or a director administers the assessment on the children and they do not have this training or the requirements of a lead VPK teacher, that is a non-compliance. We will have to issue that. And that comes from DEL.
So we just had a help. I didn't hear you. I'm not sure which part you didn't hear. I do think though, this is all detailed out on the notes.
Mhm.
So if you see in the handouts box, the JH June provider meeting notes. All of this is detailed right in there, so you can have it for future reference too. We don't expect you to just remember all of this. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's why I write it down.
Yeah, that's what she said. That's why I write it down. That's for sure.
Okay, so the next thing is the VPK contract. Before we can initiate any VPK contract, your VPK app must be certified. I'm asking you guys to take your time, get your VPK app completed and submit it so that the quality staff can go and review your VPK app to certify it. Once your app is certified, I will initiate your VPK contract, okay?
Remember, those are two different things. Your
Right.
app comes first and gets certified, and then you get your contract.
Yes,
And that also has to be signed.
yes. Okay, so are there any questions
Can I
there?
interject in there about those VPK contracts?
Yes,
Any provider on those VPK contracts who is requesting advanced VPK payments for their classes that start in August need to have them done now and start with their enrollments, or the system will not process your advances on a timely basis. I know we only have
Okay.
2 or 3 providers that do that, but I just want to give the heads up on that as well. Don't delay.
thank you, Marcy.
Yeah, advance payments are not
Yeah.
recommended. Not recommended. They're not real easy to reconcile, so.
Any other questions?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. All right, so we're moving on to school readiness, and this is towards the end of my notes. Okay. With school readiness, as you are completing your contract, your holiday schedule, please be sure to enter your holiday schedule. I will have to reject your contract if the holiday schedule is not in there, okay? So when you're completing your holiday schedule, make sure that you hit that edit button. There's a drop down little arrow and lists all your closure days that you have selected on your closure calendar. And you can select those 10 days that you want to be reimbursed for. Best practice is to take a screenshot of your closure calendar or write down the days that you are closed on your closure calendar so you can select what you want. Another thing with the holiday schedule, please be sure to label the holidays correctly. One provider had January 1st, but then they had Easter. January 1st is not Easter, it's New Year's. And then you will have to end up making like a change, making an amendment if the dates are not adding up. So please be on the lookout for that. The next thing is signing your contracts. Please remember when you sign your contract, you must list your title in that title box. That's your role, whether it's director, owner, or administrator. When you sign your contract, where it says president, vice president, there's a little box that says by electronic signature. Click that little box. The title box will pop up, and then you're going to put what your role is there. Director, owner, administrator, office manager, what have you, okay? When you sign your name in the title box, we have to reject the contract. And we reject it, we put a note in there. That note is sent to you in an email, so you know to go back and correct this issue, okay? Are there any questions there?
We do have a question. I have a feeling it might be about something different, but
Okay.
Amber, I'm gonna unmute you. You are unmuted. You can go ahead and speak.
Thank you so very much. Mine was actually about the STAR parent report. You had a quick picture on there for me. I see the one for STAR literacy, early literacy, but the math one is not populating. So I just wondered if we could bring that picture or handout back out, please. Yes, ma'am. That one's not in my thing to print out for the STAR help?
It should be, you might need to scroll a little bit further down in your handouts box. All 4 of the handouts are in there.
And if you don't have it, I can send it to you. But it should be
So on
there.
there, we have the reading, literacy, math, but is that for everyone for the math, or is just whatever you? So like you have them all squared open.
So that's for the literacy.
Okay.
But we don't do math.
Yeah, math is an option. So all of those are options for you that you can pick, because some do want to give the parents everything, and some just
Okay.
want to pick and choose, the things that you really want the parents to have.
Well, you would follow the same steps, whether it was for the literacy or the math. You're going to follow the same steps.
That make sense? I think so. She muted herself.
Okay.
I think we.
Thank
got
you.
it. All right. Thank you.
All right. And then the last thing on my notes is child assessment. Lily will be following up with providers on the information for the requirements to participate in this program. So be looking out for more information to come from Ms. Howard, okay?
And I can give you a little overview. So in order for you to participate, a certain percentage of your staff have to be considered reliable, and they have to take a course through teaching strategies to participate in the child assessments. It's completely voluntary, but it does have a differential tied to it. So there's a financial motivator there for those of you that like using TS Gold and want to use it. And I already have one provider who didn't realize they could have that we're going to be doing an amendment to their contract so that we can give them credit for it, because they're already doing it. No questions there.
Okay, that is the end for me.
So
Ms.
now-
Sims.
Ms. Latricia Sims is going to follow up with our compliance corner, and we'll move on from there.
So Michaela's not here today, so I'm gonna just take her spot. But first I want to just give a little public service announcement regarding the compliance corner. The purpose of the compliance corner is to inform and educate you as childcare providers of any new rules or regulations of the school readiness and BPK programs. Also to address any ongoing issues that have been identified by coalition staff that could potentially lead to a provider being placed on probation or the termination of your contract. So it's not to call anybody out or to cause any disturbances. It is just to keep you informed of what is going on with the rules and regulations that we have to adhere by. So you see a picture or screenshot of the sliding fee scale. As required by the Division of Early Learning, the coalition must distribute a copy of the sliding fee scale in addition to the federal poverty guidelines to childcare providers on an annual basis. The sliding fee scale that is pictured is what our Family Services Department use when we're determining or redetermining eligibility for families who are eligible for the school readiness program. The co-payments are assessed based on the family size and the parent income. So this is the one that is effective July 1st. That has already been board approved by our board of directors, as well as the Division of Early Learning. Our team will be using this new scale and income guidelines, which there is a slight decrease in the parent co-pays. This will be used for any parents that are coming onto the program new, effective July 1st. Any parents that are currently receiving services, we will continue to use the sliding fee scale for the 22-23 fiscal year until that parent redetermines their child care services or they contact us regarding an update. An electronic copy of this will be made available for you. If you need a copy of the current one or any other additional information, just reach out to myself or someone in the Family Services Department, and we'll be happy to provide you with that. Do you have any questions?
No questions so far. I'm hoping you guys can see it. I blew it up. This is available in the handout section. So if you want to download it to your device and keep it, this is available there. Okay, the only question I got was about the CQI grant info. My link was messing up. I think I need more information on that. And which, if you want to put in the comments which provider you are with, we can have somebody reach back out to you. No questions for you, Trish.
The last thing I would like to speak about is regarding probationary license status that is issued by DCF. As a reminder, the Department of Children and Families, or DCF, they are the designated inspectors or regulatories to administer inspections for the school readiness program. Back in July of 2021, House Bill 419 was passed. And in that bill, it included language to say a school readiness provider or BPK provider may not deliver either program while holding a probation status license. This is for your child care license. If your child care facility or family child care home's license status changes to a probationary status while you are contracted with the coalition will have to take action and terminate for cause all contracts that you are entered into with us. In the statewide contract that you enter into with the coalition, it goes even further to state that if the coalition must terminate a contract for cause, the provider may not enter into a new contract for the remainder of the fiscal year. So I'm going to strongly encourage that you please make sure that you are watching your health and safety violations, that you monitor them, and refer to your health and safety standards books that were issued back in 2017. It provides you all of the information as far as progressive enforcement. It even provides classification summaries that you can look at to see what DCF is looking at when they come out to inspect your site. If you need a copy of this handbook, please reach out to me and we will be able to provide a copy to that because our goal is to ensure that we keep everyone contracted and in compliance.
Absolutely. So I have your request. There's a provider requested the fee scales that we're in the process of sending that to you currently. I'm in the process of trying to multitask horribly. I don't see any questions about any of that. So yes, if you need a copy of the health and safety standards, we can provide those to you. It's a large document, so we may need to look at putting those on our website so you can download them possibly. And the last thing on our agenda today is talking about the PD podcast. So we have decided to cancel this Friday's podcast. We are not getting a lot of participation, unfortunately. And oh, thank you. A provider just mentioned that the health and safety standards are on the Blue Jeans site. They are, they live there too. Most of our stuff also lives on the Blue Jeans site. So if you explore around there, you can find some of it. So I know that there was a survey that went out in the email that you got reminding you about today in our meeting. And there is a question in there about whether you would like the PD podcast to continue. So we are in the mode of wanting to make sure that what we do is impactful and effective and uses your time and our time wisely. Time is our most precious commodity, and we know that and we value that. So please, if you got the reminder today, I believe that there is a survey, maybe not today, but in the professional development newsletter that I think went out yesterday.
That's the survey.
The survey was in there. So we would appreciate your feedback on that. And if you have any questions, let us know. I don't see any further questions on here, and we are able to give you 5 minutes of your day back. So whoop, whoop. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We will stick around for a couple more minutes, just in case you have any more questions. And you all have a great day and stay safe out there. Bye.